Hey, everybody. Today we're excited to talk about the band Pangea. They have a new album out. It is out now called Beowulf. And I love the name too. It's through their own label, HMG Records. And we have the bassist, Ron Poulson, joining us here to talk about their new album, what's going on, because they've been going for over 35 years. They've had a hiatus a little bit in there. But you guys have really been going since 1989, right, Ron? And welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Yeah, when we started, it was the four of us, Corey, Andy, Darrell, and me, and we were Pangea. And then turned into, or we were Arctica, sorry. And then we did like a little four-song CD EP kind of thing. And then it turned into Pangea pretty much right after that.
Wow. And where did the name Pangea come out for you guys to change the name and go from, one to the other?
Corey's head. It's the landmass when all the continents were together is what Pangea
Hmm.
is. I think it shows like unity, kind of a thing.
Yeah, because listening to Beowulf, right? Like first thing I was like, this should be on stage as a rock opera. Like this is epic. And I know I use the word epic a lot, but it's because I don't know, we get a lot of good music on this show and I get excited about it. And when I was listening to this again today, I was like, it's elevating and at the same time takes you in different places. It's melodic, it's like, but it takes you into different cultures. You've got world music in there, you've got Native American influence in there, and then all of a sudden you're going into this ballad of, okay, it's okay now. It feels like it almost feels like you're listening to different places of like you were talking about what Pangea is, right? But this felt like the world talking to each other.
Yeah, Wasape is very, like you said, more like Native American influence. That's from our drummer, obviously. Um, about that song because we're getting a lot of attention off of that song right now.
Mm,
On every one of our CDs, Andy, our drummer, has at least one song, and
mm.
it's pretty much kind of like that. This one was kind of interesting the way it came about. He had the idea, and we were in his studio in Houston. He was talking to Corey. Corey kind of asked him, "What exactly is the song about?" And so when Andy started explaining it, Corey turned around, looked at him, and said, "You're talking about Beowulf." And he pulled up on his computer and he started talking to me and Andy about what Beowulf was. And he's like, Andy and I looked at Corey and like, that's a great idea. And so
Oh,
we incorporated that into the song. And then he was like, it'd be great if Steve spoke this in the original language. And it was like, wow. And, light bulb moment for us. And it's been one of the more talked about songs since we released the album a few weeks ago.
yeah, because it was unexpected, but it was building up to something. When you guys put an album together, it feels like that you have a flow of a story. And that's why I brought up the rock opera. Nancy, my mom and co-host on the show, says hi. She's always she's like, we need someone to do a rock opera. And as soon as she hears this, she's like, dude, they need to have this a rock opera on stage. We want the whole, this is epic. It's because it
I
feels like you're flooding from story to story and building.
Well, that's great. I don't think we set out, to make it like a concept album or like a rock opera album. That's just the way it came
It
out.
feels, yeah.
If you look at the people who wrote the songs, like Andy's got a song, Steve's got a song, Corey's got songs. So it's not like, one person sat down and had the idea of, the whole album or anything like that. So it's just it's kind of the way we work together and, pretty good unity like that and
Mm.
pretty cohesive and flow. And even though different people are writing it just in the end it comes out like that.
Yeah, but that would be unity of the world, right? Where everybody actually worked together. Just saying.
Nice, wouldn't it?
Maybe we need to send your albums to all I don't know, to all the political people in the world to understand to get together a little bit more and be nice. you know, this just
We're
saying.
some attention overseas. Even today, I talked to Corey this morning, and we had somebody from New Zealand and like Germany and New York. So we're getting pretty good traction again, like we had before we took our hiatus. People are starting to remember us.
Well, you guys took a hiatus, but I mean, you've been going for a while, and then you take a hiatus, and bands do, you get to a point, and it's like, okay, we got to all do other things, right?
Family, jobs. I mean, I've got three daughters. Steve has kids, school, your career, things get in the way. And they did for us for a while. But a few years ago, probably about 5 years ago, Corey and I started texting each other pretty seriously. And he had some different lineups of the band, but he knew in his heart that if it wasn't at least the five of us, that he didn't want to do it. So he pretty much just called Steve and I and fired the other couple guys that he had and said we're going to do it. And that's when we met. And we met with the intention of just relearning the old songs and kind of like trying to play live. We never really thought about doing Beowulf until I think we're playing and Corey said something like, I've got some new songs. And Andy was like, we should go out to Roberts again and record them. And I've got songs, I've got songs. Everybody's like, I've got songs. And it just turned into this.
That's awesome. Because at the beginning I thought, I wonder if this was like everybody went into the pandemic and said, "Hey, man, we all got to reconnect," because so much happened over the pandemic musically, So that's what I thought in the beginning, and so that's not what it was.
No, no,
A
that really didn't.
different song.
No, no, because uh, we, I think we after we did our first three albums, we had pretty good a level of success even overseas with airplay and sold quite a few, and then everything just happened, right? Like work and jobs and kids, but there was always that, you know, deep down you knew that it had to be these guys or it wasn't going to work. You could replace, like, I'm not the greatest bass player on the face of the earth, you can replace me, but it's not going to sound like me, right? And
Yeah.
so you do that with any of us, right? You could take somebody out and put somebody else in there, but it's not going to, we have like a bond and like a
It's a
brother.
marriage. It's a marriage.
And so yeah, it's just it doesn't feel the same if you know.
Mm. How did you guys all connect in the very beginning, actually?
Man, I've known Corey since like we played soccer together when we were like
No
before.
way. Cool.
So I knew Andy when he was in junior high. We met at school through soccer, and then Corey met Steve and Darrell here in Tulsa in junior college. So we pretty much school is how we met, high school age.
So you guys are going between Tulsa or Oklahoma and Houston, right? That's the band makeup. Those two cities?
Yeah, Steve and I live in Tulsa, so we fly to Houston because everybody else is
Okay.
down. Yeah.
Well, that Houston's got a good music area too. I mean, both cities.
It's tough because right now original music is not getting any club. You got to play covers or you got to be a tribute band right now.
Wow.
It's really hard. It's kind of hard to get shows.
Really, like you'd think with you guys and what you've accomplished. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but it's like, yeah, so taking a hiatus is like starting over again in a way. But
Kind
you
of, but
have a portfolio, so that helps, right?
when we got back together at that first rehearsal after we'd met in Dallas, then we it could have gone either way. It could have gone things went really well, or it could have been really really bad. Fortunately, it went really well, and we got through the songs quicker than we thought we were going to, and it was kind of like riding a bicycle, and
Wow,
just
nice.
the thing, and we just had to knock a little bit of the cobwebs off. Um, and so yeah, it could have been like we spent all weekend on like a song, but it didn't turn out like that. We got through it, and they weren't perfect, but for not being together with the five of us in a room for 20 years, it was pretty good.
That well, because you got to think about like with bands that were performing and then COVID happened, and then as soon as they had to get back on stage, they had to relearn their language, right? Because you have a language when you're performing, you have a language when you're in the studio. You know what I mean? So to do 20 years, that's a little bit different. So you guys are supposed to be together doing this.
Oh, definitely, it's meant to be. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. But this album, tell us about some of the songs that you wrote for the album.
I don't think I have. I'm not any like total songs. I'll tell you that maybe I have parts or riffs or ideas,
Mm-hmm.
but not like brought in the idea. I would say Andy, Corey, and Steve are pretty much the main contributors to these songs on this album. You know.
I think the whole album, even the flow of it, like how that I think that's what it is when we talked about the rock opera, right? It's about the flow of a journey. You feel like you're being taken on a journey. And I think maybe that is the true thing of what prog rock is, that you're going on a journey. I don't think you can do prog rock single by single.
Yeah,
You can, but prog rock is a journey, even if it's not a concept album.
that's all Corey that lays that out like that. We have all the songs, and he's the one that put them in that order. And he's got a very good vision on that. Corey's got like a master's degree in music, and he's a professor. He teaches at a
Oh,
college.
wow.
He's got that all lined out, and we really rely on him to put the songs in order, if you will. You know what I mean? So it's that's his
Wow.
baby.
So you guys performing live now for folks to come and see you?
So we played a few months back in at an art festival in Beaumont, Texas, and that went over.
Oh,
It was like our comeback show kind of a thing. Kind of older high school kids, younger college kids age.
really?
It could have really gone really bad for us, or it could have gone
Yeah.
really. It went really, really well.
Oh,
And then last
nice.
released Beowulf, we did that at the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame 2 or 3 Thursdays back,
Sweet.
and played for 2 hours, and it went over really, really well. A lot of people there, a lot of people that didn't know us that were just come because they were members of the Hall of Fame, and they really enjoyed it too. So what's up next is, because we live in Tulsa, we're going to try to put like a little mini tour thing together of like 2 or 3 shows here, 2 or 3 shows in Beaumont. There's Texas has like swing dance clubs, and once college gets back in, kids come back in there, and we're going to put together like a week of shows through those. And then after
Wow.
2 or 3 weeks of having like these little mini tours, we're going to try to get into the Prague festivals next year. Mm.
But that's interesting. Like a swing, like that, I wouldn't have thought. But Beaumont is interesting. I love Beaumont for a major reason. Okay. Because, okay, I know that Janis Joplin was in Beaumont and Port Arthur, right? So we got all that history. Houston's got, Stevie Ray Vaughan too, and up into Austin and all that. So we got good Texas Texas music history and Oklahoma, both states. This is what I'm very fascinated about, the two states uniting here in music, because it's fascinating, the music history and roots of this. And I don't know if people would think prog rock would come out of Texas and Oklahoma. What do you think?
Probably not.
Yeah, I was just like, wow, you know?
Most American prog is probably more California or New York. Most people
Yeah.
probably relate Prague in America with Dream Theater, but they're so much heavier than us. And we kind of took a people ask me what we sound like, I always try to say we sound like a little bit of Asia and Pink Floyd, and that's kind
Yeah,
of what
I go in that because you've got some building steps, like even the
Mhm.
beginning, yeah, the very first track.
That one.
Um,
Yeah,
oh yeah, that I like that one. It opens you up into, and it's kind of dark too in a way. It gets you up and down. It's a little, yeah,
yeah. That
yeah,
we are playing that live, and that out of on that CD on Beowulf, Necromancer and Wasape are probably two of my favorite tracks because I like the
yeah.
weirder, proggier kind of stuff.
I think you and I are on the same track of the songs here. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's interesting to me, of the how the whole thing works together. But when you think about the prog in Oklahoma and Texas, I love this. And Beaumont is a very interesting community because it's got oil, right? It's
Yeah.
a bunch of oil. I mean, we go there because we document parks and public lands, and the times we go to Beaumont is to go to Big Thicket National Reserve Preserve out there. It's swampy and it's cool. And what I didn't expect was all the giant fancy houses outside Big Thicket Preserve. I was like, where are these people getting their money from? My God, oil. Um,
One of our players, Scott, he actually lives there.
yeah. So
Yeah.
he knows what I'm talking about then, huh?
Always talks about Beaumont and Port Arthur. That's what he talks about, those areas all the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting area because you're going from the ocean, also you've got inland, swampy, and then Oklahoma. You guys have some different terrain. So I love this. I know I'm talking about landscape more than the music side, but I think it's more down home. And I think it's going to be interesting for audiences to kind of reconnect with your music locally and hear, like, hey, we've got something different than what everybody expects to always hear. So when you did Oklahoma, the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame, that had to be pretty cool. I mean, Oklahoma's had through that Music Hall of Fame, so many people have gone through there that are just amazing. And for them to enjoy you, that shows they've got good ears.
The thing that we found is, and what we've kind of talked about, we feel like because we had a good reception at in Beaumont and in Muskogee that I think people are kind of looking for something, that's not out there right now because people
Mhm.
are, they're being forced a certain kind of music on the radio and they're being told what to
The
listen to.
same songs over and over.
So we play our own instruments, we don't have
Yeah.
back tracks. We sing, if we make a mistake, we make a mistake, so
Mm-hmm.
it's real.
You are
And
not AI generated.
nope. We were talking about that this morning, and that's out there and it's coming.
It's here. It's here. They're reproducing You're on our Rants and Raves rock and roll show as well as our Toast to the Arts podcast. So we have multiple podcasts, and part of I just keep going the rant of for musicians right now and anybody in the creative world right now is AI. I think it's the biggest, other than Spotify, is AI. It has to be of what's going on.
Well, what I heard this morning is that that will replace a musician because they're not needed anymore. Someone can just type it into a computer. What do you need? You need musicians. So
I've done it. I've actually done it. And I didn't use it. I just did it to see.
mhm.
Um, you can go on Canva design thing and you just type in, oh, I need this kind of music and it generates it. And I went, holy, whatever. I'm not using it. I refuse. I want the music. I'm not using it, and it's not the same because the reality is
Mhm.
they're stealing from musicians that have made something in the past. So they're going through old catalogs and grabbing that. And that's the bad thing. It's not like a computer sat there and made up something purely on its own. It
Right.
is using a backlog of music from the past, or you know what I mean?
And like for us, on Beowulf, when we went and recorded it, we went to Sound Tech in San Jose, California, where our producer Robert Berry lives, and
Mm,
it, so his claim to fame is he played in a band with Keith Emerson and Carl Palmer. So if you
yes. That's why I kept going. I know this name. I know this guy. Who is this? Yes.
so when we went out there, to my point, he we play, we make a mistake. We might know that we made a mistake or we didn't play it exactly like it was written on the page or something like that. But you, the listener, won't know that unless we told you.
Mm.
So you're getting it and you're listening to something that we actually did. So you're hearing that version. It's not like you're hearing something perfect made by a machine. You're hearing something, that you're enjoying. But like
I
it was
think everyone's going to start throwing mistakes into everything just on purpose now.
maybe,
It's kind of like you're going to listen to the album and find the mistake, you know?
yeah. But to make it more lifelike or something. But we did it like we would have done in the old days. We use Pro Tools, but there's mistakes in there, and there's things that will bug us, but nobody else will know it except us, kind of a thing.
Yeah,
So
did you play in like the same room? Because or was it separate rooms? Like, what was that? Because the energy is really big on the album. Like, I sat with a headset listening because to
well,
me, that's pure and clear.
drums, and then I did the bass. And then
Mhm.
once we're kind of done. After like 4 days, I think Andy and I had the bass and the drums done. And then and there's a bigger room where Andy's drums are set up, and then I was just in the control room, just pretty much plugged right into the board. And there's after we're done and out of the way, then Corey and Darrell can start putting keyboards, guitars down. Then Steve can start singing leads. Then you start doing lead solos. So it's kind of layered like that. In
Mm.
a you lay down the basic tracks like the drums and the bass, and then we get out of the way and let the other guys come in and do all the color on top of it.
Oh, wow. Wow. So do you get to sit there and listen as people are adding on and, you
Yeah,
know,
sometimes
uh,
sometimes you don't. It just depends. Sometimes you don't want to be in there because if too many people are in there, it can get kind of confusing. But you do hear some of it, and sometimes you just go sit outside. You need a break. Your ears need a
mhm.
break. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can hear as it comes through. So, you do the recording in San Jose. Okay, so you go over there, come back, which that's the world of it. I love that you're doing a recording studio. I think that's cool to have that come out. And it's on your own label, right? So you guys
Yeah.
are doing your own label instead of somebody else taking everything.
Yeah, we thought about it and we talked about it and we kicked it around, but at the end of the day, we just went and did it ourselves like we did with some of the others. So I mean,
Mm. When you guys before you guys took your hiatus, which like we're saying, this is a natural thing that can happen. Um, did you all keep playing in some fashion during that hiatus to be able to just get back together like you did and make it work so well? I mean,
I
even just playing in your bedroom kind of thing.
I mean, personally for
It's,
me, there was a time I didn't even have an instrument in my house, and at all.
wow.
Yeah, I refereed soccer at very high levels, even professionally in very
Oh,
high
wow.
one men and stuff, and so I was really immersed in that world, and not until like 5 years ago or something like that, when Corey and I kind of started, we kind of started getting a little more serious. I was like, he started sending me the sheet music and stuff, and I was like, maybe I should get the CDs out and listen to them, and I hadn't listened to them, but not like a lot.
Mhm.
And I think some of the other guys probably have a similar story. They played maybe not Pangea music, maybe not all the time, maybe like just as fun in a bedroom. Uh, I can't speak for everybody what they did exactly, but I know for me there was a good period of time there. I didn't pick anything up. I
Wow.
didn't have it in the house. So yeah,
It
fortunately
happens, man.
back though.
But I mean, does it feel good now to be doing it again?
It feels incredible.
Yeah, right. Right. I know. I mean, because I did it too and currently not. And it's like every time I talk to a musician, I'm like, damn it. You know what I mean? It's like, and I know there's like this amazing feeling of doing what you're supposed to do.
That's exactly it. And somebody asked Scott, one of our guitar players, the other day, why are you doing this? And he said just kind of basically what you just said there. It's because it's what I'm supposed to be doing. And that's, when he said that, it really kind of hit me. And it's like, yeah, that's it. All the other things I've done or I am doing right now, what I'm supposed to be doing is playing bass in Pangea every day. That's what I should be doing. And I
Yeah,
think
it
we all
feels good.
do that.
Yeah, I think it always comes back around if it's supposed to. They say that thing where you set something free, if it comes back to you, it's yours.
Boy, we set it free, didn't we?
Yeah, yeah. And I love Beowulf. I mean, this album is so cool. I it just will take you on different levels. And I think every time you listen to it, you're gonna find something new. And that's the beauty of a good album, is
I
that you
think
don't hear it all in the first time?
Thank you very much. I think if you listen to our other albums, you'll find pretty much the same kind of a journey, you know.
Well, it's my first time knowing about you guys, which I get excited to learn about a new band. So
Cool.
I know, sorry. I mean, when you were on your hiatus, where was I? Yeah, I was probably in Africa when you guys started. So, I'm a little late on the scene sometimes, and that's okay. I'm allowed to be. And that's the beauty of life. You can learn new things and dig back in, and you guys, I think I mean, as soon as I got your album and the press release and everything, all the media stuff, I started listening and I'm like, hell yes, bring them on the show. Hell yes. And then I was like, listened and I sat and listened and then I've listened again. And then, you know how it is when you like a really good album. I mean, that's a solid album. That's a solid. badass album that I it's got to go far. It's got to. It's one of those that I don't care what's going on in the world. You're going to find something that resonates, but it is progressive as you listen, and it just takes you like a little emotional journey. It's awesome,
That's
and
that.
it's going to be what you want it to be as a listener too, and
That's what,
that's the you
yeah.
you have space in your music for the listener to co-create, and I always love bands that do that.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's the hope. And Corey and I have talked about that before. You put it out there, and hopefully, a song like Wasape may mean something to you, and it may mean something different to someone else, and different something to someone else, or Necromancer, or any song on that CD. And that's kind of why we do it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Let people judge for themselves and make it what they want it to be.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, you're out of Tulsa, and you got JJ Cale, right? It was part of your roots.
Man, everybody's here. Are you kidding me?
I was just thinking that. I was like talking about Bob Dylan's, museum when before we came on the show, but you got JJ.
There are so many good musicians here. It's scary. It's pretty scary sometimes.
JJ Cale's one of the best in the world to me.
No, I mean, Leon Russell's from here.
No, no kidding. Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Oh,
Leon's. If
really?
you do tour again, you need to go to the church studio because that was Leon's home for so many years. That's where he made all his music. And
No.
yeah, Leon's from here. Everybody's from here. Eric Clapton lived here for a while. He went to high school right down the street from where I live.
Really?
Yeah, there's so many people from Oklahoma. It's not even it's
We got to do more. We need to come through and do hang out. Yeah.
tons of people are from Oklahoma and from
So this
Tulsa.
would, and so people should go like as a destination for music lovers to go to Tulsa.
I mean, just yeah, everybody's from here. Not to
Wow.
mention country people, but you could go with Garth and Reba and all the
Oh
standard
yeah,
people.
yeah, that's true. Reba's got a new place, right? A new place opening up.
Yeah, and Blake Shelton and all those kind of people. But there's so many other people here that are just so many talented musicians that you wouldn't know about unless you like spent some time here. Yeah,
Did you play bass in school? Like, were you a bass player in school?
trumpet.
Wow. Okay, but that makes sense in a way
And then
because
my
you
parents
know how a solid note's going to back up the others. Or, yeah,
and my parents, if I wanted to play guitar, my parents made me learn how to play the piano. So I had to take piano lessons. So
that
trumpet,
makes sense.
guitar, bass, I'm not very, I wouldn't say I'm, really great at any of them, but but they made me because my dad was a trumpet player. So
Hmm.
that's how we got to Tulsa. It was my dad's from Jersey, and he came to Tulsa to go to the University of Tulsa to play trumpet in the band. And so that's how we got
Wow.
here. Yeah.
Wow. So this is a musical journey. My God.
Yep. Dad was a trumpet player. Yep.
Wow. And to go to college there, go all the way from Jersey to Oklahoma
I think
for
he,
the
he
trumpet.
with his parents a little bit.
Well, maybe. Yeah, that happens too, right? We all have to do that at some point. But that's amazing. What a story. What a story that you guys have. I mean, well, I'm so glad you're not in hiatus anymore. More on the horizon, right? Go touring and shows that people can connect you with. So I want to give everyone your website. So everyone go to Pangaea.band, and that's PANGAEA.band is the website. Go follow them there, and Facebook. Reconnect if you've been a fan over the years and knew about them before me, which I know a lot of people know about you before me. I'm just like, I was in the backwoods of Africa somewhere, I think. But, it's okay. I found you now. But that's the thing. You're going to have a lot of new listeners, and going to colleges, isn't that the thing?
That is, and we found that a lot of people remember us, and I guess we didn't. I guess we didn't expect that, but people are like, "I've been waiting for this for 20 years,"
Oh,
and they're
awesome.
yeah, incredibly. They're probably more excited than we are, and it's kind of making us more excited. So it's been
Oh,
really
that's
it's been a huge blessing. Yeah.
Oh, that is awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Ron. I'm so excited about the music and that you're touring as well. And hopefully we'll get to see you guys in person on the road somewhere as we travel back through Oklahoma, Texas, or wherever you're traveling. Hopefully Europe, right? I'm thinking you guys need to go back to Europe. Just saying.
Yeah.
I think so. I know they're gonna like you over there, and yeah, for sure. But everyone, go to the website PANGAEA.band. Thank you so much, Ron, and say hi to everyone for us.
Thank you very much.
Lying wait for sleep, it comes like a light, comfort in my dreams. As I awake, it's still with me. I pause, check reality.